Welcome back to the Super Not Funny Show and Maggie J Reviews. We are doing another collaboration, talk about Upload Season 3, review discussion, all of that good stuff. And I'm hoping if you're listening to this, you've actually watched the season. If you haven't, spoiler alert, I guess I can say. So maybe go watch that and then come back and hear what we have to say about it. Before we get into that, Maggie, how you doing today?
I am busy, busy, busy. It's almost Thanksgiving, but I have to cut out time to talk about this show because it was a really, really good season.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Forget Thanksgiving. The turkey can wait. We need to talk about we need to talk about printed hams and
Yes.
ham flavored turkey and pig cancer was among many other things. Um, if you guys listen to our kind of review and discussion of the first two seasons, we are talking about Nathan and Nora and potentially one of the worst futures possible for our real world, where corporations are merged and people can live in digital upload or digital afterlives as uploads, and there's conspiracies to sort of kill people off and all. It's a bunch of stuff's going on, but in the midst of all that, Nathan and Nora are cute as hell together, and some of the other characters like Aleesha and Luke and Ingrid are just they're growing and becoming hopefully better people. And also we get introduced to some of the other, I guess, background players, some of the evil players. So and AI guy is kind of doing his thing. There's so much going on in this season. So we'll semi recap, but it's more about talking about the ideas and the people and all that. So Maggie, as you said, you thought it was good, but give me more of your thoughts about the season overall. How would you feel about it?
I really enjoyed the season. I think it went by too quick. They were dropping them every 2 episodes a week, and then they only had 8 episodes. I wanted it to go on for at least another couple of weeks. I would not have minded one episode per week because I mean, just God, there's so much going on just in real life normally. Like I don't can't get into it as much as I would like to, but I think the season was really good. The characters that we like and the characters that we're supposed to root for, I think that they got even more intriguing. And then, of course, the bad characters, the evil characters, they got even more evil. So I think it was a good growth for everybody overall. And like the overall message, or what, not the message, but the overall idea behind this season was to expose the billionaires for what they're trying to do to the poors, basically. And also, all of the character growth that was going on and bringing everybody closer and understanding themselves a little bit better. I think it's very enjoyable. And even I definitely do not think that this is the last season, especially with the cliffhanger that they left us on.
No, I think they're definitely getting at least one more season, and hopefully they can bring to a conclusion all of these storylines. To be fair, it's been 3 years, and in those 3 years, we're only somewhat beyond just, oh, there's a conspiracy and we got to do something about it. Which is the first episode of the season is really doing that, dealing with the conspiracy head on.
Yes.
Following on from the end of last season, which and of this season, I will say I really enjoyed it. I don't think it's probably number two out of three for me.
Which one's your
Uh,
favorite season?
I think the first season is still my favorite season.
Yeah.
It's just it does such a good job of establishing what's going on. There's a mystery and the meet cute aspect of it is always going to be the best part, because this was more
Hmm.
about Nathan and Nora finally having an in person relationship. This the long distance relationship becomes a close up relationship, and how do you navigate someone being a real human in front of you. And also Nathan, of course, getting adjusted to having a real body again. And so
Yes.
all of that's going on while they are also like trying to do something about this conspiracy. And it was good to see them. I feel like there's a 2 or 3 episodes in there where I'm just like, okay, well, this is a thing that's happening. I'm like, why are y'all treading water? There's, move
Yeah.
forward. even if those episodes were fun in and of themselves, they felt like they were not moving things forward. And I'm in particular talking about the episode where the two Nathans go and rescue Luke. I liked it, and it was
Hmm.
fun. But I was like, okay, well, this is just a thing that's happening. Or where they were on the farm again.
Yeah, I really
Yeah,
disliked the farm episode. It was absolutely disgusting,
yeah,
and I think all of the elements at the farm, all of the what we found out and what we needed to know, we could have went through it all just by them standing on the front porch and then definitely turning down the invitation to come in because it just I did not like that episode at all, not at all.
yeah. That well, the thing is, I like the episode for its world building aspects, and also because it was really saying something about about regular people and news sources and what you believe. How do you know
Yes.
what's real and everything? And these people were happy. Let's admit, if their son wanted to upload, to Freon, they don't have a ton of money, right? And so they're hardworking farmers. They're getting by, but they're hardworking farmers. Most likely conservative minded, very nice. They put up Nathan and Nora for the night, and then they were sort of, coerce them into working on their farm. But in so doing, you get to see so-called normal people, and they think that the whole Freon incident was the Luds, and they only think that because Mansoor and Choke and all of them own the media. And so since they own the
Yes.
media, they can tell what and this is not a oh man the future sucks because of no this is a this now sucks because of this. This is a direct reference to mainstream media and how it shapes the way people think about things, what's real and what isn't. And even though Nathan and Nora know the truth, they can't even bother to try to tell them. Not that they don't want to, but because do they have time to sit there and have this long, drawn out argument with people who are so certain they know what the world is actually like?
Yeah, it's like you have to explain, like even now, the misinformation that's flying around on the internet, it is so hard to try to sit someone down and explain, no, you are wrong from like 6 steps ago. Like I don't
Yeah,
have the time to teach you about the actual, what the facts are from what you're thinking and to now where you're, making all these accusations or believing what the media is telling you. Like it's definitely, and then like the boy was trying to look up information and they tried to charge him like a subscription for the
uh huh,
website, to get to the facts. And I'm like, how
yeah,
this is how information becomes even more valuable.
yeah, yeah.
And then if you don't have the resources, what are you working with?
Right, and
So
this is because this is definitely the worst possible future,
hmm.
where corporations have won, and now like so everyone's perceptions are this shaped this way, and also it's a terrible future because GMOs have turned into some kind of eldritch horror situation where there's a
Yeah.
cow that's like 200 feet long with all these udders that milk specific like cheeses and cream and all. It's so
Yeah.
gross. It's disgusting. But also they farm pig cancer,
Yeah.
and I'm assuming that that's
Uh,
what goes into the printers. I mean, it's just
yeah, yes, exactly.
horrifying. I
Yeah.
remember
And
watching that
that's
episode
why,
and I
yeah,
was thinking like this is the most horrifying thing I've seen in this show so far. And we've seen some pretty
definitely.
terrible stuff.
Yes,
Just
but that is definitely the worst. Episode two, not only just because of the actual gross elements, but when you realize, these are normal people who don't live in the city, and this is what they have to deal with. This is what they've been reduced to, basically.
yeah,
So, and they're everyman. So, and it's just really sad. Like, holy goodness, if
yeah.
you don't if you don't have a lot of money, you don't have a chance.
I mean, it really is just our current situation, but like aged up, into some weird
Hmm.
technology or something like that. But I mean, the episode itself, I mean, I thought it was really good in terms of showing the world. Um, as far as like, I mean, the whole thing with Luke and getting kidnapped. I mean, it was fun, but it was ultimately I didn't feel like it did much more than just being like, oh, the two Nathans know each other and they can work together to kind of set up how they work together later on in the season. Speaking of uh, other Nathan, what an that's an interesting part of this season. Like, I was wondering, I was like, is two Robbie Amels too much? And in that one episode, I was like maybe a little bit, but two Robbie Amels when they're separately living their own lives,
Mm-hmm.
I actually was down with it because, and I hate to say that, but no, I don't hate to say it because usually guys get, the women are the sort of springboards or the source of character growth for a guy. They're there to serve the guy's character growth. It was good to see Nathan more or less there to serve the character growth of Ingrid, who to me,
Yes.
it between her and Aleesha, the MVPs of the season, for
I
me.
agree. Absolutely. Ingrid was three different people in this season, and I think she's coming around to being somebody that you could absolutely grow to love and adore. Obviously Nathan still loves her on some level, and she is trying to adapt herself to be somebody that, more people would like. But there was several instances where she definitely went back to that evil bitch that she can be. And, when she told Tinsley to Shrek herself,
Right.
and when she told the girl after the exercising, like she was being really mean to Ingrid as it was. And Ingrid's just like, I just really need a friend right now. And this chick was being super mean. And so she's like, no, the only thing worse about this is your queefs or something like. And there was several instances where um, Ingrid is definitely somebody that you want on your team just to make sure that things get done the way you want them to. But she's also growing into somebody that you might want to invite to your dinner party because she is very nice and you want to spend more time with her. But I think she's got a little bit more to go. But
I
yeah,
think I think one of the thing that kind of symbolizes her, her growth into a more of a well-rounded person, someone who sees other people as people and not just, things that to be used or whatever, is her relationship to AI guy. Like
yes,
it was an amazing, first of all, sweet as hell, but because
yes,
AI guy is becoming his own person, with throughout the season. That's kind of one of the themes of the season. But watching her relationship to AI guy and how she looks to him as an actual friend, more so than that one, whatever her name was that they went to the virtual, workout class, and he gives her good advice. He listens. She ends up inviting him to the wedding, her wedding,
yes. I
and
think I
so
think one of her yeah, I think one of her best scenes was with him and her at the bar when he tells her, your insecurities, this is you. You don't trust yourself enough to believe in yourself. Like that was a
yeah,
really powerful scene for her.
yeah, and it was, and she really took that to heart, and she thought of him as a real person and invited, just and only just that one, the one
Yes.
AI. So my question is, how does she know that that's the same AI guy? She's a lot more perceptive than we've seen before, and she
Hmm.
doesn't treat him like just an AI, just a servant, but an actual person. And that, like I said, that's Ingrid becoming the better person that we can all love. Like I say unreservedly, any negativity I had towards her character in the past is all gone because I've seen what she's gone through, and she's been through the ringer, and she's come out the other side. She's independent. She's found love with Upload Nathan. With a backup Nathan, and she's
Yeah.
become a person that Nathan can love. And I'm like, we are sort of Nathan in this situation where we have seen that too, and we can love her too. And I loved it. It
That's
was
a great way to put
yeah.
that. Really, that's excellent. Yes, I agree.
So it's her, and then Aleesha. Well, the other thing is I want to say about Ingrid because her dad sucks. He's the
Absolutely.
worst. Like I hate to give this as a criticism of the show, but why does the bad guys are like they're like Snidely Whiplash from if you watch Wacky Racers ever. He's just the evil guy twirling the mustache. Like when he says like I wish Ingrid had been in the car wreck so I could lighten my bank account. And I was like, really? That's all? It's your only thing you're caring about is your fucking money.
That's it.
And when you realize that, like I said, the villains in here, they are cartoon villains. And I kind of hate that because I want better reasoning than, oh, I want power. And I'm like, okay, cool. Rich people will always want power. What do you want the power for? So
For
we
more
can pass.
money.
So
For
yeah,
more
so we
money.
can pass. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we can pass legislation. Okay, what kind of legislation? Yeah, I'm thinking they're gonna install themselves as kings or something like that. They got some grandiose. No, they want to be able to make uploads work so they can save $500 million. That's your.
Not
That's
even
your
half
fucking.
a billion.
That's your.
Half a
Yeah.
mil. Oh, wait, was that half? It was half a
It was
billion.
half
No,
a
I'm
bit.
sorry.
But I'm
Yeah.
like choke industry. That's your fucking plan.
Yeah.
You kill millions of people, right? You're changing the districts. You're changing the elections and everything. So one bill can pass. So you can save $500 million. Get the. What kind of it's like it's as if Thanos was like, oh, I'm gonna snap half the people away so that I can the lines at the grocery store are shorter. That's it. That's your plan.
That's it. Yeah, it's not for any kind of betterment except for the bottom line. And that's really
Yeah.
I think
I'd
I
even be
think it's
fine.
even
Yeah.
extra I think it's even more extra evil than that because you're saving the money, but you're also having all these uploads. How do these uploads operate if not for their angel interface,
Yeah.
right? That requires humanity to do that, and uploads can't angel themselves.
Well,
But
yeah.
also, they're like, oh, we're going to eliminate all these jobs for humans who are alive, but so they'll be more likely to upload. Like,
Or
so,
something.
yeah, I mean, and it really, it's
They
kind of
called
wild. It's just
they called
absolutely
them
crazy.
workload. Remember they called them workloads in the last episode.
Yes,
It,
workload.
yeah. And so, but this and there's a lot of like should they or shouldn't they do that? But the thing is, if this were a world where the uploads were their own people and they own their
Hmm.
own, that fine. But no, they are every upload by the upload companies is owned by that company. So it's literal slavery, even if they aren't currently making them be, slaves working. The workloads will be slave. They will be, company basically living in a company town. They can never leave,
They can
and
never
that
leave.
and
Yes.
they'll rack up a debt that they can never pay off. So they're essentially slaves. And the fact
Hmm.
that their brainwave patterns are intellectual property owned by the company makes them literally digital slaves. And
Yes.
and somehow they're trying to, as always, trying to spin it as something good. And I say, okay, this is a nefarious plan. They're spending a lot of time, money, and thought into making this happen. And it's really just so you can have digital slaves and save money in the real world. And I'm like, that is the most disappointing damn villainy because it's banal, completely. There's no thought I mean, it's not thought. There's no creativity to it. There's no panache. There's nothing. It is simply, I just want more money,
Yeah,
and
and
that's it.
it's really a short scope. Like you would think these people you're going to live forever. You want these uploads, these infinite employees that will never need to leave or die or go away. You never have to replace them. But like, at what cost? You're going to create even more terribleness for those at the bottom of the income level because now there's going to be no jobs for them to do because the
Mm-hmm.
uploads are doing all these jobs. And
Yep.
it's like for what? For what purpose? What does this do for you as a human being? And then also, what does this do for you as an upload? Like, if you if you change the laws enough so that you have ultimate power as an upload, it's
Well,
what world are
yeah.
you leaving behind for the actual humans that you need to populate your upload world? It's just
Well, yeah.
it's just really
Well,
terrible.
the idea here is immortality for the rich because they can
Yeah.
afford to upload, download, upload, download. repeat, have copies of themselves, right? And
Yes. Yeah.
never ever lose power. The poor people, they're just going to be destitute and die off, and the ones that aren't are going to be in servitude to the people that are rich. I mean, again, no imagination whatsoever. They are bad villains because mainly because they're unoriginal, and unfortunately, that's what happens in the real world too. This is like the worst version of our world because the villains in our world, that's what they think about too. None of them are doing, you know, James Bond stuff. They're doing like, I need to save $1 billion. Oh, we
Yeah.
need to we need to bust this union. And it's so uninspiring. Like I can't like I'm not supposed to like the villains, but at least most of the time, the villains that are in James Bond, you can be like, okay, it's kind of cool though. That's a stupid plan, but that is kind of cool. This is just a not stupid plan that is completely uninspired. It lacks any kind of sophistication. It lacks any kind of like real genius. It is like the most textbook playbook thing ever. And it makes sense because by and large, rich people aren't terribly creative. They just aren't.
Yeah.
They pay money for other people to do that sort of stuff. So
Yes.
I didn't mean for us to go on that tangent, but I've just been I've been thinking about it on and off as we watched the end of the final episode, and the Pyrrhic victory that Nora gets, where she wanted ultimately for the case that she built around choke industries and everything to legalize the personhood of uploads, so that Nathan would be off the hook and they could live together and they could, do their thing. And she doesn't get that. She gets a quote win that doesn't win anything. It wins money, but money doesn't buy the freedom of the uploads.
Well, and she doesn't get any of the money because she is not affected by the lawsuit. She was just a character witness or one of those important witnesses. But then it wound up not working out because all of the property that they had between Nathan and Choke, that all belongs to Horizon. So like they couldn't have used it in the court case. But also she wanted to expose the plan, the the putting all of the Freons into the voting districts to get rid of the poor people, basically. She wanted to expose all that so that people would understand and would know who is doing this and what is behind it and how terrible it all is. And then they're like, oh, nope, these records are all sealed now. And I'm like, oh, okay. So typical lawyer room. What is that called? Courtroom. Typical courtroom stuff. It's like, you never really find out what the meat of stuff is if people are willing to just pay for settlements and pay to be quiet. And also $140 million versus all of the hundreds of people who died. That doesn't seem like a whole ton of money. I'm not sure how many people were involved in the lawsuit, but that's really just chump change. Yeah, I don't know how you would take that money.
That's not even a good settlement now. That's a garbage settlement. That should have been $500 million at least.
At least out of all the billions that they're trying to save by keeping this secret and covering this up, like you're going to give out 140 million, and then the lawyers, you're going to take a third of that. But then they're like, oh, well, we guaranteed, at least everyone will clear at least $1 million. Yeah, I'm sorry that once you take your third, the lawyers, there's not even $100 million left. So how many people are you representing? 75? Yeah. Like, what's going on here?
It wasn't a huge class action suit because I think that the people they could find that could get in on it, and it moved very fast. I noticed, but it was just very disillusioning for Nora and for Nathan.
Yes.
Everything they were working for in the season sort of going down the drain, and their future. So Nathan getting arrested by Horizon, that was just like, okay, that's just the cherry on top of this kind of shitty Sunday
shit sandwich. Yeah. Well, really, if with Nathan in his position that he's in, what Choke is actually trying to do, not with the voting districts or anything, but the, allowing uploads to work or downloads to work, basically, to have a job and to earn income and all this other stuff. He should actually be more on that side because he's kind of, once they found out that the download was sabotaged from the beginning, like now he knows that the download he's in will work. There's no problem or anything like that. So he should really be more on Choke's side as far as wanting these bills to pass, but also like not because there's so many people that are dead or not involved in the voting block anymore that now you can just push these through. Like he needs to be able to establish himself as a person. So I mean, yeah, both ways. Nathan loses on both of these fronts. So that's really upsetting for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. It's, I mean, and all of this played out more or less the way I figured it would. I mean,
Hmm.
the and this is we saw this as a comedy. There's lots of fun. I laughed quite a bit at every episode.
Yeah.
But it's dark as hell because there's a literal murder in the next to last episode by
Hmm.
a food delivery robot. And
Yes.
so,
Oh,
Nathan was nearly murdered in the first place. Like, and it's pretty clear that Choke and his cronies, or Canterman and Choke and their cronies, and Mansoor, he's God. I wanna slap the crap out of that dude.
yeah.
But
Really.
they're all, it's a big old cabal of people who on paper don't look like they should be on the same side, and yet they all are because they're big rich assholes.
And all their whole plan, back to the zero creativity. Their whole plan is to just make more money for the corporations on their end. Like,
Well, yeah,
Jesus.
and they're trying to secure their position at the top of the food chain, where they get to live real lives and go in and out of of digital afterlife, and
Hmm.
have an iron grip on the world. So in other words, they suck. But
Yeah.
this does remind me. Speaking of, we got to see, and we were wondering at the end of last season, Aleesha got promoted, so we kind of got to
Yes.
see behind that curtain as she's rising above her, lower circumstances into this executive level, what it actually means to, move up there, and what's expected of you to identify with this newer class that you're in. Like she literally, she has the money for her own place, with like massage walls that her nephew takes wrong advantage of. She's got the special printer. She's got all this responsibility and everything like that.
Hmm.
She's got money, and she's kind of wearing it well, but also seeing the shady shit going on. And it's part of the season is, what's Aleesha gonna do? Is she gonna fall in line and be a good soldier, or is she gonna do the right thing? And fortunately, that's our girl. She's gonna do the right thing.
Of course she is. As
Even though
I
yeah,
enjoyed. Go
I'm
ahead.
just going to say it was just what made it more complicated was she got into a relationship with Karina Silva, who is Mansoor's right hand, lady. And of course,
Mhm.
if she's his right hand lady, she got to be full of shit. So,
Exactly. Yes, definitely.
but what were you about to say?
Oh, I was gonna say, I really liked Alicia throughout this season here. She did show a lot of growth. Like she wants to be, somebody who is contributing to her job. She's not just there clocking in, clocking out. She wants to be a contributor. She, told them you have to cool up the place, make Lakeview more cool if you want to bring in a different demographic here, but so she wants to contribute and she wants to do these things, but once she's neck deep in all this stuff and she's realizing these people will do anything for the bottom line, she gets a little icky, She's like, oh, I don't like it. And then she uses Luke as her sounding board. I thought that was really cool. Like she
That's
eventually calls him
great.
her friend.
Hmm.
She calls him her friend, and then at the end when she kisses him, oh yes, like I thought that this whole season here was really, really. awesome. And then we got to meet, some of her family, and we see her family is very much
Oh,
not as classy as Lakeview constituents are, but they're there for each other. They still love each other. Like
uh,
I can feel there's a lot of love there through all the frustration. But
I actually had that particular. So that episode was, what was it called? What was the name of the thing? Discount something day. So
Cyber Discount Day.
Cyber Discount Day. So this is where Black Friday, Cyber Monday, whatever, have been transplanted onto Thanksgiving Day itself and have
Yes,
supplanted it, right?
it's like
So
all the
which
holidays
makes it
right together.
which by the way, pretty genius writing, because you'll notice that throughout the show they are constantly saying like all these different companies that we know now that have merged together, and they're doing all this wacky horrible things, for consumerism's purpose.
Hmm.
And they very pointedly don't ever say Amazon, which is the most ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous. There's no way Amazon's not a thing, 10, 15 years from now. I refuse to believe
Exactly.
that. But they don't say
Yes.
Amazon because that's their parent company. But
Hmm.
they definitely imply Amazon. That cyber
All of the
discount
principles.
day,
Yes.
yeah, cyber discount day is definitely an Amazon thing. I
Hmm.
mean, I don't. It's definitely that's it, and they definitely make a big deal out of sort of saying Amazon without saying Amazon.
Yes.
But the whole cyber discount day episode I thought was very inspired, because we see, outside in the real world, Nathan and Nora sort of struggling with money, and we see, Nathan's mom is, she doesn't have her place anymore. Now she has to stay in what's essentially a hostel, right? And it should
Yeah.
be, it's basically, it looks like the Squid Games, to be honest. I was looking out, I was like, oh, they made a Squid Games hotel, cool. But she's
Yeah.
living elbow to elbow with these people in this kind of drab, horrible, you know, industrial look. And not even industrial. Industrial would be an improvement. It looks like a cubicle was exploded into a house. Um,
Yes.
and so Nathan is trying to, he's got to work, but he's undocumented, which apparently is a thing that you can do in the future, and that temp agencies just roll with it. And he's trying to figure out how to make money so they can have a decent cyber discount day. But meanwhile, on the inside, you know, copy Nathan is just like, oh, I can't wait for this awesome buffet, which, mind you, is fake. It's not real. It's digital,
Yeah.
right? And we find out on that same day that Ingrid is not broke, but she is working an actual job at like
Yeah.
one of, and the place that makes the most sense for her because she has the most experience with their products. One of the hug suit places. She
Hmm.
manages the hug suit place, and she's trying to make it on her own. She's been cut off. Okay, cool. That's one of the things that made me like Ingrid more. But uh,
Yeah.
but more to the point, what the center of that episode that mattered the most to me was Aleesha, and she's been training the AI guys. And I in my mind, Aleesha and Luke sort of became mom and dad to AI guy in this
Yes.
episode, and in the sense that she's teaching them, trying to teach them right. He's is also, but Luke's he's sort of an idiot, but he's sweet and he's got a good heart, and he
Hmm.
starts teaching them all sorts of wrong things that, while while factually incorrect, sort of get AI guy to the right place. He's like, I want to,
Yeah.
I'm not just a slave. I want to time off like everybody else has. I want a special dinner. I want to be treated like a person. And Luke
Hmm.
encourages that, so he teaches that, and Aleesha does also in her own way. And as a team, they get AI guy to where he meant to go. And I guarantee I'm gonna land this plane. I'm about to. What really brought this all home is at the end of that episode, she spent this whole time trying to impress her family with the printer and all this, and they're unimpressed with it. And so rather
Yeah.
than sit, and she's been working all day and working to try to please them, they're unimpressed. So she goes and has dinner, cyber discount day dinner with another family, a chosen family, and that's the three AI guys and Luke. And
Hmm.
I was like,
Oh.
okay, this is beautiful. I was like, okay, this is beautiful. I love it. that's why the writing on this, it they get some subtleties like that. This was a more of a slap you in the face sort of thing, but the parallel between chosen family and the family you're born into, and how you sort of navigate your relationships with them, and also because I want Aleesha and Luke to get together. So I mean,
Yes, I agree. I agree. Absolutely. They are the next power couple or whatever you want to call it, but definitely I
but get
like them
Karina
two
out of there.
together. Yes, no, Karina, she's like she's very beautiful, but she's evil. Like you gotta recognize, and I like that Aleesha throughout it. She was like, yeah, but well, what if you really like somebody, but then you find out that they are sketchy, like they do some messed up stuff. Like,
Yeah.
can you just ignore that? Like she was really questioning herself and going through all of the, should I, shouldn't I? And then when she was like, he's like, well, let me meet her. She's like, I don't want her to meet any more of my friends.
I was
Like
like, what? Yeah, it's like,
that,
haha.
that's all you need to think about right there, girl. You know better. You know this isn't going to be the one.
Yeah.
This isn't it.
Which, and I'm sure it was, hot and heavy and all that other stuff, um, throughout. But I mean, just, I thought, honestly, I'm going to say, I thought that, Karina and Aleesha were really cute together.
Mm-hmm.
But knowing that she was terrible and that Aleesha is fundamentally a good person, uh, I was like, this isn't gonna work. It's definitely not gonna work. And to her credit, she goes above and beyond. She actually endangers herself and her job and everything
Mm.
to get the goods to help out. Help Nathan and Nora with the case. And
Yes.
of course Luke is he's the 100% real one throughout the show. I mean that guy he's so real that he had an opportunity to really get rich or
Yes.
rich enough by selling out AI guy and
Mm-hmm.
and he walks all the way up to the door and it almost steps through that turning bad
Mm-hmm.
and then puts himself in danger instead to save AI guy. And I was like,
Yes.
there you go, Luke. That's my man. That's my man. He's so good. I gotta remember. I gotta start remembering the actor's name that plays him. He's pitch perfect. Luke is never out of character to me. He's always playing him exactly right. And,
Yes.
so a bit of a doof, but like just a heart of gold. I loved his character through this season.
Yes, I like Luke a lot throughout this. He definitely he's not the smartest, but yeah, as far as genuineness, he's really bringing it. He grounds everybody. I like that scene where he was talking to Nathan and Nathan was worried. He's like, I'm jealous of myself. Like, is that okay? And he was like, you just Nathan fucking world. Like he was hyping it. He's like, I am ready to go. That scene was just adorable. I really enjoyed it. But that's really, speaks a lot to his character. That is who he is, what he does. He is a good friend. He's a good buddy. He'll, let you like play out all of your own thoughts, and then, he'll come back. He might not give you good advice, but you're gonna feel good about yourself when you walk away.
Yeah. Well, and he's a good judge of character. Like,
Yes.
absolutely. I think that Aleesha, without saying it, she's like, I trust that you can tell what's going on,
Hmm.
and I think it may seem like he was wrong about Karina, but the truth is, I don't think he was wrong about. He was right. She's scrappy and she fought hard to be where she is, and
Hmm.
I think he didn't have enough time to see that she'll do whatever to stay there to maintain that she's kind of bought
Yeah.
into the whole I'm part of this upper echelon and I've got to stay here. But as soon as it was clear to him that she was no good, he's already been like, no, Aleesha, dump her. You got to get rid of her.
Yes.
And 100% right. The
Yeah.
good thing about this season is seeing them around each other. We've seen them dance around each other so much that
Mm.
was such a cathartic little scene where they're victorious. They get the goods and everything. Alicia's happy and just unthinkingly just kisses him. See, if it had been the first one where she pecked him and like, oh, it's a victory thing, like, oh, I could kiss you, you're so smart. I get that.
Yeah.
But she
Yeah.
went in for a second one. I was like, girl, you know you about to get on the Luke. You getting on the Luke train. You may as well you buy all the tickets, buy the round
Yeah.
trip ticket because you getting it.
Oh, definitely.
So
I
I'm
said she
like,
ran.
yeah.
She turned away so fast. That's how I know she had some feelings behind there. Because otherwise, she would have explained herself. She's like, "No, congratulations, gone." That was really sweet, though.
It was. I mean, I've been the thing is, I would have been fine if they had stayed platonic friends because Luke wasn't pushing the thing. That's the thing. He wasn't pushing to be some kind of romantic partner.
No,
Clearly he's attracted to her and everything, but he's just been
but
like,
really,
I
who
just want to
was?
be friends. Like let's just be,
Yeah,
you know.
I think Luke is the all opportunity because is he not in love with Nathan as well and told Ingrid that she's beautiful? Like he's very much, I love you, So
Well,
not that he would
oh
fall in
yeah.
love with anybody, but no, he definitely loves all of the people that he surrounds himself with.
Well, he's open hearted, but also speaks his mind. Like if that he feels that way, and why wouldn't he? He's in his digital afterlife. Why should he be so,
Hmm. Let me after live
reserved?
it.
Yeah. So that's one of the things I'm definitely looking forward to in the next season.
Hmm.
Beyond that, though, like I mean, obviously we have Nathan and Nora. There is one other thing. Besides AI guy, which I think seeing AI guy, because I think he's close. I think we're close to the singularity within, excuse me, within the show, wherein I don't feel like AI guy is a real artificial intelligence yet, but I think he's almost there. Like the reason why I say that is because Aleesha trying to teach him to be more like a person, and he's just not getting it right at the beginning. He's just like, I hate this, and he's just like a petulant child, at
Yes,
school.
just like a child.
But by the time the final episode comes around,
Hmm.
it's pretty clear he's gone way beyond that programming. So where I think he's almost actually a real full on person that
Almost.
could be recognized as a real person by the government. And that in the final episode, so we see the the Horizon security sweep through Lakeview and start shooting people, basically start deleting people who are
Hmm.
copies, right?
Hmm.
And in the midst of that, AI guy, instead of stepping back like his program should say, decides to be a shield against the Horizon people. And I don't
Yeah.
think he'd have done that in the first season.
No, no, absolutely not. I think he would
And
have just stayed
yeah,
at his post and done what he was supposed to be doing at his post and not really recognizing what was going on. But he did go through the training with Aleesha to learn like tone inflection and attitudes and stuff from humans. And then he went to the real world and had to experience a number of human uncomfortabilities and highs and lows of just taking a walk through the neighborhood. And that Karina, she says, this AI, he's got empathy, which is not really something that you could program into a computer program. Like that's something that just either grows or doesn't. So
yeah.
I think, yeah, I definitely think AI guy, he's gonna turn into what do we think, like three people? Because they keep showing him in triplicate, like the whenever he's there as a representation, there's three of him. So
Yeah.
maybe each of them, and then also Ingrid only invited the elevator guy, despite the bartender guy being the one who really set her straight.
Right.
So is it the different personalities are going to split off even more, and then now they're not going to be the AI guy; they'll be the AI gang.
Oh, my hope, and this I know this has never happened, but I just hope it's like the Matrix Reloaded, where just they just pour out of doorways. There's just hundreds of thousands of them just clogging up Horizon Lakeview.
Yes.
Uh, we can hope. Um, so I think, and also, do you think that the download version of him is still running around New York City?
Oh, that is an excellent question because yes, they never did find him, and I mean, without direction. He died almost every single time he stepped out of the building. So yes, I mean we expect that he's just going to wander off and go get killed, but that was one of the later versions that we seen where he gave his hat to the homeless guy. And yeah, I didn't even think of that. That is pretty. Yes, I wonder.
That's
I wonder if we
uh
will run back into him again. Right? That. Oh man, can you imagine them trying to bring him back after so many months or even a year out in the real world, and then bring him back, and now he understands so much about humanity.
I
He's just like the
I
perfect
yeah.
companion.
Well, I'd like to think, and I don't think they're going to follow that up. It would be nice if they did.
Hmm.
I'd like to think that he's like the main one of the main characters in the book, Stranger in a Strange Land, which I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you've read that before or know the story, where essentially this guy is born on Mars, during a Mars mission. He's born to a
Hmm.
couple of astronauts, raised there by actual Martians. So there's real Martians. Then he comes back to Earth and he's culturally completely unadjusted. He knows he can speak and reason and everything like that, but his way he thinks about the world is just completely different. And he essentially ends up being some sort of Jesus like figure that creates a new religion and all this other stuff. And
Ah,
I was like I would love if that were what happened. I don't think
that
it'll
would be
happen,
very
but
cool.
uh, so so what I guess what we have left for what happened this season, besides, we got duplicate Nathan, which
Hmm.
his romance with Ingrid, again, he was honestly less of a person, that whose growth we were following. He's the same person at the start of the season as he was at the end of it.
Yes,
But
definitely.
he's really more of a foil, well, not a foil. He's really there to serve Ingrid's story.
Hmm.
But that doesn't mean that he doesn't do some cool stuff. Like he gets to go on an adventure, helping to save Luke, as I mentioned before,
Yeah.
and to dress up as what? Who did he dress up as? Gaston from
Yeah. No,
from
Prince Eric.
Prince Eric. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. So he dresses up like that and does some cool stuff. He flirts relentlessly with Nora, and like, who can blame the guy? But like,
Yes.
he
He's
really
got some
shoots his
unrequited
shot.
he's got some unrequited feelings there because he wasn't in love with um Ingrid. He was not in love with Ingrid when, for family day or whatever, but he was just kind of stuck with her because Nora was gone. Nora had been disappeared for weeks or months or something out there with the Luds and all, and he couldn't find her. So this is the Nathan from just after that point where he's like, okay, fine, I got to give up. I This is my life. This is what I'm going to do. And I was wondering myself, like, and especially after all of the interactions that he had with Nora, um, trying to save Luke and do these other things throughout this season. Do you think that because Nora won't give him a chance, won't give him the time, that he's just like, okay, I'm gonna this me and Ingrid, we're just gonna do it. Do you think he's settling for Ingrid, or do you think that he's able to go ahead and move beyond his feelings for Nora and be like, okay, Ingrid is here. She is a better person than when we were together. I can see that she's trying, she's doing better. Do you think he's actually in love with her enough to propose to her, or do you think that he's just putting
Just
her in that place of I want
right.
to do this, or this is the kind of this is where I want to be. And Ingrid is here, and she's definitely in love with him. So, do you think that he's settling a bit, or do you think that he's actually grown into being her man?
I think he's grown into it. What the main thing is, hard to really gauge what he's really thinking about. I mean, obviously he proposes and everything, which and it was
Hmm.
fun to see her be like, no, and because and this is the growth of Ingrid Cannerman. Like I know
Yes.
we're supposed to be talking about copy Nathan, but just briefly, her she literally is just like, I have this notebook and everything that's supposed to happen when I get proposed to is this is supposed to happen and none of this is happening. I can't do this right now.
Yeah.
And that's old Ingrid creeping back in because she
Hmm.
has an idea of the way the world should work, and if it doesn't conform to that, then it's junk.
Yeah.
And in the process of testifying, she realizes like okay, who cares if it's perfectly like I envisioned or whatever. The point is, he loves me and he proposed to me, and why the hell am I saying no to him? And
Yes, yes,
her growth is so important right there when she goes back to see him, and Nathan being, copy Nathan being completely understanding because he knows her baby better than she thinks she does, and he pays attention, and he's just like, if you do want to, here's the thing, kiss me and wake me up. And I was like, so y'all did a Snow White thing too? Like there's a bunch of stuff happening in that
yes.
scene that
There, yeah.
it's
Is
very
it one
impactful.
episode? Yeah,
Yeah,
it might have been the one or two episodes, but there's definitely a ton of Disney references going on
yeah.
in there.
And it was so that whole thing where this Nathan, I think he really had, yes, that one got away, the one that got away, but he's maybe resting on the fact that, hey, I'm not the one that got her, but I did get her. So, but
Yes,
and here's
that's a
another
weird
woman, yeah,
juxtaposition, but yes, yes, that's definitely a way you could justify it to yourself.
but there's this other woman who is head over heels, absolutely head over heels for him, is
Hmm.
doing, and he realizes she's he knows she's been wearing the hug suit for him. She realizes that she's working a job to support him. She's being as honest as she can possibly be with him about what's going on, and she's clearly making strides as a person to become a person that's more lovable, more accepting of herself, etc. And that's, Nathan likes that, and I have to believe that part of him is just like, well, she, the one that got away, that sucks, but this one right here is excellent too. And like, the more I see the growth, the more I'm just like, I absolutely, actually, this thing I thought was just affection is actually love. I like
Yeah,
to think that.
yeah, I can get behind that. Here is a little thing that I discovered or remembered. In the very first episode when they're back, when they come back, Ingrid is walking down the street and she gets a phone call from NextGen, the
Yes.
body regenerator, and she keeps the guy on hold for, I mean, like 6 hours or something like that. But in the end, she tells them to go ahead and grow another Nathan.
Yeah.
So do you think that's going to come back around in season three? I mean, it's got to, right? Because now there's only one Nathan again. So
Well, the problem is which Nathan.
interesting.
Well,
What's that?
which Nathan? I,
Yes.
if
Which
if
Nathan
they
do you think
cop
it
out,
is?
who are they going to cop out on? Because
Yeah.
I think that if they do copy Nathan, if copy Nathan is the one that survives, it is
Mm-hmm.
a cop out on Nathan and Nora's relationship. So they have to
Yes.
start over from square one.
Mm-hmm.
If they do Ingrid, it's just more tragedy for Ingrid, which I don't think it's fair to. She's been dragged through the mud in this show.
Mm-hmm.
Should she get even more? I'm not. I don't know that. I don't know which one I would prefer. If anything, I'd say Nora, because she is not at a weird fragile state where she's just now getting her legs under her. And Ingrid,
Yeah.
oddly, as privileged as she is and has been, she's just not. I don't know if she could survive another blow, to
Oh
be
no, she's
honest.
very fragile. She's very fragile. She's on the edge all the time of just going to pieces. So
Yeah, I feel I feel like we've been doing all this talking. Nathan and Nora have kind of gotten a short shrift in our conversation
hmm
in this season, and I think it's weird because they're in all of the episodes and they're doing a lot of things, but it feels like a lot of their character growth was about, can how do they get used to each other in the real world,
yeah.
and like they're how do they interact with each other. And even Nora and Aleesha's sort of strained relationship only gets a little bit of talk here and there. Like, I'm thinking back,
Yeah.
I'm like, what did Nora do in this season besides basically be like, well, me and Nathan we're trying to figure it out, or
Yeah.
hey, you have a copy, or hey, we're doing a Mission Impossible thing here.
Yeah, now
I
you
feel,
mention it,
yeah.
yeah, she's kind of just she just kind of pushes the plot. She's not really involved too much. So, yeah, but I feel like her and Nathan, but especially her, she's in like a flux or like a transition period. Like they don't have a home, they don't have a bed together. Like they're staying at somebody else's house, and then they're staying at somebody else's house, and then they're all waiting for basically Nathan's head to explode. Like they have a countdown on how many days he's alive.
Hmm.
So it kind of feels like that they're waiting for the end rather than trying to learn how to live with each other or how to put up with each other and stuff. Like that's I feel like that could be limiting for what Nora is providing to the plot, because it's difficult to kind of be yourself if everything is different from when you started. When she started, she had her own place, she had a job, she had, her father, her father's medical problems. Like she has not mentioned her father, not even one time this season. So it's like there's so much going on and there's so much that's different. It might be she is just along for the ride this season, especially.
Yeah, and to, like I said, to some degree, and so is Nathan. Real world. Actually, both Nathans. Like I said, copy
Mm-hmm.
Nathan is the same as he was from the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Real Nate, real world Nathan is more or less. I mean, his struggle is like, now that I got a body back, I've got to get back out there and I've got to work, and we're on the run, and I want to make sure everybody's safe, and also this, basically Nathan and Nora, their main deal, and even Nora says it is like all he ever wants to talk about is the conspiracy,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and like
It's tough.
that's their main thing, generally speaking. So maybe they didn't get as much character growth this season as we were used to in the previous seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Which isn't to say I didn't enjoy seeing them. I like Nathan and Nora in real life as a couple,
Yeah.
as kind of a dynamic duo. I maybe feel like the story is widening out so they aren't in the center of everything all the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, usually because they're the main characters, obviously. Usually the main characters are the ones that all of the storylines and everything is surrounding about. And it kind of just feels like, especially in this season, they're just part of that surrounding.
yeah,
They're not part of the background necessarily, but they are definitely just rolling with what is happening, caused by these other people and their decisions, and the powers that be. They're just, they're saying this is what's happening, or they're trying to uncover it, and it is a little bit like chasing their own tail.
yeah, yeah. So I hope that's something they sort of remedy in the next season. But this maybe speaks to the fact that the story, the plot threads that have been running through these seasons are
Hmm.
hopefully winding down to some like real conclusion. And so maybe that's more of the symptom of that than just that the characters themselves don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
So that being said, I did want to ask you, give me a couple of highlight moments for you. I got a couple that are really good to me in this season. But what were a couple of highlight moments or scenes for you?
Okay. The episode one, when they're sneaking into Choke Tower, um, the one chick, it's Nathan and Nora, and they use like this I don't know, light show or whatever to trick the cameras into letting them in. And then the lady, she's like, I don't recognize you. And Nora launches into this story about how she's like the middle daughter, and the older daughter was smart, and the younger daughter was thick. And she's like, and then there's me. Nobody notices me. Now you don't notice me. I thought that whole scene was just absolutely funny and hilarious. And like Nathan kind of freezes and doesn't know what to do, and then she turns to him, when the lady's like, "Oh, excuse me," she just makes her so uncomfortable. She has to leave, right? So, and then
I
she turns to Nathan. She's like, "You are terrible under pressure."
I
I thought that
I
that one
love,
was so
yeah.
funny.
That scene was fun because it took me a moment to think about it and what she was saying and all that. And at the end of it, I was like, I bet you that sounds like one of Andy Allo's relatives. Like sounds like somebody
Yeah.
because like her she is, I believe her family is like they're from, I forget where in Africa. No,
Hmm.
not like either way, of continental African descent. And I was like, that sounds like an immigrant
An
auntie.
immigrant story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was like, that sounds like that. But I'm, what do I know? But I was like, that sounds a little. I don't believe a writer just like pulled that out of their butt. So,
Yeah, no, that is
uh,
definitely somebody's story. That was absolutely cute.
yeah.
And and then and the cyber discount we were talking about it when they have the sit down for dinner with Luke and Aleesha and the three AI guys when she's trying to teach them how to eat cheese. Make it go down the back. No, make it go down the back. That was absolutely adorable. One thing that I thought was funny, only because it got under Nathan's skin so much, was how much all of everybody who knows him, like his family and the lady Holden that they lived with, and
Hmm.
even Nora, they kept basically
And
calling him
yeah.
fat.
And Nevaeh was probably. I was like, you know what, Nevaeh, you don't have to sit there and actually pinch it. That's not necessary.
Yes, exactly. You're body shaming my boy
They're,
here.
yeah,
Like,
they're sit.
yes,
I was like, wow, y'all go really sit here and body shame my man, and he was
yes.
taking it so serious.
That's and that's I think that's why I liked it so much because it got under his skin. He's like, when the doctor tells him he's like 14% body fat, that's really good. He was like, it used to be 10. It like ruined his day. And then when when backup Nathan and Ingrid went to the very first version of Lakeview, and then that guy, he had no eyelids or whatever. Yeah, no eyelids. And then she was reading the reviews, and it says they only have one whole butt cheek, like there's no split. He was like, "I'm gonna take your cheeks." There was so many really super funny elements, and none of them really pertain to the plot. But I just thought that they were super duper funny, and they really showed like these writers. I don't know how many writers this show has, but these writers sometimes they just get it right, and as far as the funniness goes, and like in juxtaposition to the real world versus their world, just absolute great. I like I said, I really enjoyed the season. There's a couple of things I'm like, yeah, but overall, I really enjoyed the season. I hope that next season there better be another season. You can't leave us on this. There's only one Nathan now. Which one is it? You can't leave us on a
Right?
cliffhanger like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, I had a couple, and one of them actually is probably going to spill into something bigger than just like one moment. But
Hmm.
the episode where Ingrid, makes Tinsley give her Nora's body so that she could
Yes.
try to mess with Nathan and see if he's true to her. And first of all, Nathan, cottoning to it immediately, and he's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay, nope, I'm just gonna hang out, and I'm just gonna, he does stuff to just annoy her."
Hmm.
Was fun, but then she has to actually go and do Nora's job. So there's one element of it is Andy Allo absolutely getting to act, and be
Hmm.
Ingrid, be like to get the mannerisms and everything just right,
Hmm.
perfectly done. But also this is Ingrid. We're usually seeing her. Oh, she's a ditzy blonde and whatever, all stereotypically. But man, the way she read those IT guys when they were talking all that misogynist
Yes.
shit,
Oh yes.
I was like, okay, y'all don't even know who y'all talking to. Y'all not talking. Y'all talking to Ingrid Kanterman, and she takes no shit from no woman.
No.
And
Nope. She'll go
boy,
fuck your dad.
oh man, the way she read, and they as soon as she said, "I will fuck them up," and the way their faces changed, I was like, you
Hmm.
know what? I was like, I know y'all's britches are burning because boy, she got in that ass. And it was fun. It
Definitely.
was at the end when they were like, oh, okay, it was good working with you. They were, and then the other guy was like, we should hang out. Nope. But
Nope. And
I
that's
was
what she
like,
said. And she said, not even for Nora. No, no. She knows
And,
exactly what
and
they're about.
they did a good real thing where you saw Ingrid doing the moves, saying it,
Hmm.
and then Nora,
Hmm.
and they were switching back between. I was like, you know what, that Ingrid, I was like, I like the cut of her jib.
Exactly. Like I said,
uh,
she's somebody like if she carries on down this road here, her character is becoming more and more likable, more of a nice girl, but she's still a mean girl at heart, and she will fuck up your day. So you want her on your team, but you don't want her mad at you.
yeah, it was, yeah. When she's on your side, boy,
Uh-huh.
she's a bulldog. But man, yeah, that was a good moment. The other thing, and this is like more than just a moment, Ivan stealing David choke. What a boss move!
Priceless. Oh my God,
What a
yes,
boss move! And,
absolutely.
and he was shitting himself too. You know what got? You know why that? You know what
Mhm.
got him? You know what got him,
Mm.
right?
What's that?
Talking about calling him a sucker fucker. That's what got him.
Uh,
I was like, oh, as soon
oh.
as you did that, as soon as you did that, your ass was
Hmm.
stolen. It
Yes.
he took that king straight off the table. Uh,
Hmm.
I was like, Ivan, because he's a bit of a joke. He let Choke eat sushi off of him. Yeah,
Yes. No,
Choke
he's
was like,
very
no,
big.
yeah, the Choke was
Yeah.
like, the other ones don't have any dignity. But man, my man twice in this season came through. He was like, I'm suited up like a ninja in the first episode,
Hmm.
and then he stole Choke and then mailed it to Nathan's mom. I was like,
Yeah. Who'd have
this
thought he
guy right
had it in
here.
him, right?
Now there's he's a complicated man. Let's just say
Definitely.
that. I mean,
Yeah, no, I was super duper impressed with that whole move there because he was also he was playing into like Choke was asking him, he's like, do you use like digital dementia? Is that like a thing? Like does you know what I mean? And he was like really playing into it. He
gaslighting the
was like,
shit
we've
out of
had this
her.
conversation several times before. Like he was really setting him up for this. I was like, yes, Ivan, go. Like, yes, that was excellent. So
No,
I think
normally I don't
Ivan
go.
Ivan was a
Yeah,
much stronger character this season than in previous seasons where he was just a Roomba fucker.
right. Well, I normally don't go in for gaslighting, but like, fuck Choke,
Yeah, fuck that guy.
gaslight the shit out of him. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, those are like, I mean, there was other really good moments, but those were the ones for me. So I guess to sort of wrap this up, let's looking forward to the future.
Uh-huh.
What do you think we can expect coming besides more terrible futuristic prognostication? What do you think?
Hmm.
What do you think is going to happen? And who do you, what's your who's I guess what's your money on for who got deleted?
Mm, I'm thinking. Um, here's my prediction. The backup Nathan is the one who got deleted, right?
Hmm.
And because Ingrid has another Nathan that's being grown for her, I'm hopefully, fingers crossed. Um, and so that's like a real life Nathan that she could have in real life, So I don't know what that leaves for Nora, but I kind of get the feeling Nora much more preferred the relationship when Nathan was in Lakeview and she was in the real world, and it was a little bit easier for her. So maybe they go back to something like that. I'm not 100% sure because I still like them so much together. Like I want them to be together and be in the real world together. But I don't know. I have a sneaky feeling Aleesha's not going to get fired. I think she's going to be tasked with help me find out who stole my files, from Karina,
Yeah. Uh huh.
and she's gonna have to find somebody to take the fall for this. Otherwise, she will lose her job. So,
Right.
um,
Or
but
potentially
also I
get
think
killed.
or potentially get killed. Yes, because Mansoor, he's the right just above Karina, and they named her, in the lawsuit. So maybe Karina gets the sack.
Or maybe
So
yeah. She hasn't been killed yet. Yeah.
not yet. So yeah. So I mean, there's some things in the works. Also, AI guy, I think he's going to be making big moves next season. Like I think he's definitely he might ask them to call him a name. Like no,
Nice.
my name is my name is Frank or something. You know what I mean? Like, and then no, that's not Frank. This is Frank. I'm Frank or whatnot. So it might be something really cool like that. But honestly, this show, because it's just little increments and stuff, there's no telling. I would have
Yeah.
not guessed half of the things that happened in this season after season one or season
Yeah.
two. So
Yeah.
there's a lot to work with. Go ahead.
I think you're on the right track. Is I think probably copy Nathan was deleted, and real Nathan was uploaded. I think
Hmm.
that's probably what happened. They let him call out, so clearly he has some sort of rights, or he's a pawn or whatever. He's a
Yeah.
not a pawn. He's a bargaining chip. Now
Hmm.
that Horizon know, all right, this is much more serious. We got to figure out how deep this goes and who we're dealing with. So I think that's probably where that's going. I do think the AI guy, as you said, he's probably going to become a real person in this, and I think he's going to be more central to finally dealing with Horizon and Mansoor and all them for sure. I think Choke may end up being key to the whole plot since he's out of he's kind of out of play, but he has an important information for them more than they've seen so far.
Yeah.
And I think Aleesha does remain, in there. Maybe Karina has been set up to take the fall, so she
Hmm.
takes her place or something like that.
Oh,
She
that would be very interesting. And then she's working for Mansoor. She could set him up to look like a fool.
or to just get them correct. I always want. I'm like, why don't y'all just have cameras around that place? Obviously, if you wanted to know who stole the data, look at the
Yes.
CCTV. But you know what? Asking too many questions. That's
And that's it.
clearly
Too
my
much.
problem.
Well, that's what,
Um,
because these higher ups, they know if there's too much cameras, there's too much evidence. You can't, not
yeah,
in my
yeah,
office.
that's true. It's very true. And I do think Aleesha and Luke are going to figure their stuff out. Ingrid, I have no idea. I think if Copy Nathan is dead,
Hmm.
she goes on a warpath. I honest like
Oh,
I
yeah.
really truly do wonder what lengths she would go to through to to avenge his death. And
Yeah. Either to get him
I think
back or to make
yeah,
them pay.
I think it starts with her dad. I think
Oh,
she
yes.
could very well get herself back in his good graces,
Hmm.
and do whatever just so she could, twist the knife in his back. Because
That would
he's
be
in my
right
mind
up her
he's
alley.
dead. In my mind he's dead to her.
Oh,
So it's
definitely.
yeah. I'm hoping. We'll see. I mostly want to see AI guy become Agent Smith and just fuck up Lakeview. That's just my thing. I want that to
Yes.
happen.
Yes, because
Um,
now he's acting as a human shield, and now they have assassin guy. I don't know the guy with a long trench coat. He's in there just raining the pain. But
yeah,
yeah, if he's learning anything, learn how to fight like that guy, and everybody watch out. He's
yeah.
unstoppable.
Well, and there is the gray zone still exists.
Hmm.
So the gray zone definitely could be a source of like rebellion or whatever. I think, but it's all got to come to a head. They've got to figure out what's going on with the uploads and their status, and to kind of reveal the cabal. So that I
Yes.
figure that's it for next season. So I mean we will see. We got a whole year to see what they're got planned. I think we covered it all. I feel like we covered it all.
I
Unless
feel
you have
like,
any
yeah.
last thoughts.
No, that's it. I already went over all my favorites and my least favorites, and then we did some speculation. I think that's a good solid show.
Yeah. Well, those are all our thoughts for this season of Upload. But what did you guys think about this season? And what did you think about what we had to say? If you agreed, disagreed, maybe we missed something, whatever the case may be, you know what to do. Get down there to the comment section, leave your thoughts there. And of course, you can always hit me up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or supernotfunnyshow on Threads, Instagram, or TikTok. Maggie, where can they reach you?
Oh, I actually did join Threads, but I think it just you and I just talked to you on there. So if anybody wants to send me a message or anything like that, I think it's just Maggie J Reviews on there. And then I still am on Twitter. So yeah, there, Facebook, Maggie J Reviews. It's all intertwined. I just have the one name. So if you find me, it's probably me.
Yeah. Well, and let us know what you think. This is what a season. And like you said, went too way too fast. But
Definitely.
we got plenty to think about, and we always have a watch through ready for the next season. So that's another thing to look
Hmm.
forward to. But
Absolutely.
either way, you guys go check out Maggie's channel. Show her some love. Like, subscribe.
Oh yeah, I'm
Notification
going to
bell,
do a
all the good stuff.
review. I'll do a recap of this whole season here. I'm still writing up my notes because work is just working me like crazy. So another, I don't know, maybe a week or so, I'll have the review, or no, not a review, like a recap with a little bit of review stuck in there. So yeah, if you want to
Yeah,
check it out on my channel.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, go show Maggie some love. Check out my reviews of Upload for this season. The final review should be posted by now, and just generally, like, subscribe, notification bell for the Super Not Funny Show channel. I would really appreciate it. So, all that being said, I've been Mo, your commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by my good friend Maggie, and we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.